can also have a look at it later at their own time. And with this, I'm going to share my screen as well. So before we start with what we are doing, we were all aware we are here for quizzes. So before we start, any idea of what quizzes is? Anybody who can tell me if anybody's used it? As you know, we filled in the registration form wherein we did check if you were beginners, were you intermediate, or were you already using quizzes for a long time. So here I can see Nandini ma'am says she has used it. When I got the responses of many of you, it said most of you were beginners and few of them were intermediate and very few were the advanced ones. So yes, I can see you've got quizzes. People have been using quizzes for a long time. So here, basically, to go on to my introduction, it's pretty simple, short. I'm a primary school educator. I work with the French Embassy School, as we call it, as French International School. And here I am a Google certified educator with level 1, level 2, and then my certification. I am also a GEG leader, which is a Google Educator group for my chapter of Ludhiana. I am the AIEF Global Master Trainer and a resource person. So I think whatever I've gained so far is from each other that we've learned. And I'm here thanks to AIEF for giving us this platform. And of course, Google for empowering us with different tools and resources. And we're keeping the key as learn, share, inspire, and empower. So, and as a lot of educators say, sharing is caring, learning is fun. We all go with those hashtags to go on. So, just to let you know, this session will have two parts. Today, we are going to look at a bit of theory, and there are a lot of advanced features that this tool brings you. So we're going to start with how to go about to begin with, to enrich you and to empower you with a lot of other tools that Quizizz offers you as part of Super Teacher Program. So why we are here is once you attend the session, you complete it. At the end of the session, there will be 2 feedback forms that will be shared. I'm sharing because many people tend to skip and leave that opportunity. So here you would be shared 2 feedback forms. One will be for the AIEF, wherein you have a normal feedback form and you get a certificate. The second one is feedback form from Quizizz, which by assigning that quiz and filling that quiz will allow you 1 month of free Super Teacher membership, which will allow you to use a lot of advanced features. So how we'll go about it in this session, we're going to start with little basics, more intermediate, and then we pause there. We give you access to explore, and within a week or 10 days, depending on your feedback, because on the feedback, it says whether you would like to go for the advanced version, and then how soon would you want it. Please do mention it there, because I know many of you are on vacations. So there'll be not a forced session. We will do it in sync with each other. And we can go on to working on the advanced session and using those features. So we would empower you with that Super Teacher membership, which will come to you after the form is given. And it takes about 4 to 5 working days to process your application, or just an email ID that they will ask you for. And once that is done, you would be there and you would be allowed to access this free feature of Super Teachers, which will have all the advanced versions. And when we come to the next session, you will already be aware and you will have your questions ready for the advanced features. So that's how the process will work. So here a bit of a theory as we need to go through the process. So what it asks is how much time do we, if you think as educators, going on from class preparation every week, from planning the content, which takes our most time by each term or each period, what we have to do with the kids, to going back to our synchronous and asynchronous learning. Many teachers are still following the blended mode or the hybrid learning. Going on to making those assessments, formative or summative, assigning them the work, and then reviewing it back. Same goes with the assignments. You need to grade them, give them feedback. Connecting with the parents is again very important part of our sessions when we do the teaching. That cannot be omitted. And then you've got engaging students, which is our most important part. After the pandemic, what we've noticed as educators is the students have been so much stimulated with the online learning, the digital media, that sometimes it gets difficult for us to decide and for the students to retain that attention that we have. So in that case, there is lots what the teacher has to work around to engage the students. So we've got a lot of gamification tools available right now in the educator market, I would say. So Quizizz is one of them that came up really on high scores, to say that it worked well for many of the teachers. If you've used Kahoot, we are very close to using the methodology. It's the same platform it works on. And of course, another time where you go chit chatting in your coffee rooms. So what if I said Quizizz can do all of this? Well, except buying your coffee or going into the staff room, and we don't want to miss those little chit chats and knickknacks in the staff rooms. So apart from that, Quizizz will do all your job. See here, what is Quizizz? So like I said, we'll go a quick check on the theory part, and then we move on to practical, which I'm sure everybody is here for. So Quizizz is a teacher empowered or powered learning and engagement platform for both in class and home learning. Like I said, people are using it to a great limit now. Also, back when they're back to their regular classrooms, they are into their mode of blended and hybrid learning, or assigning it through different LMSs where they're working. There are preset worksheets available. Again, did I mention that you have a lot of learning from each other that we've shared over these 2 years of pandemics, and then post that. So there are a lot of resources educators like you and me have shared over this platform. They are freely available. You do not need to start from scratch. Most of you have already been using and mentioned in the chat. So you know that you just have to little edit your questions here and there, add, omit, and you are good to go with the presentation. So nothing about reinventing the wheel. It's perfect for instruction, review, and our different assignments, what we called as open-ended questions. There are different kinds of close-ended questions. You've got true or false. You've got all these different kinds of assessments you can take to check. And the Quizizz platform itself tells you the answers, it grades. So you don't have to sit with those pen and papers anymore. And it gives you feedback right away with small little quizzes. It's like a game option for kids, but for you, it's learning. Homework is all covered. You can assign homework with deadlines. Again, like Classroom works for us in Google, you can link it in Classroom. So it gives you a base to assign homeworks through Google Classroom and other LMSs as well. And it saves time with auto-graded homework. You don't have to do it. You can provide that time, saves your one-on-one feedback that you can give to students. You can give reports to parents as well at the same time, without having a formal parent-teacher meeting. So they're updated with what is happening in the class with my child. Assigning them homework with custom grading, like I said, with the different learning systems that we have as Google Classroom. It is integrated Quizizz now with Google Classroom, and it helps students with adaptive question banks. So you can create your lessons, which is again a beautiful aspect of our Quizizz platform. It engages everyone. We have the instructor-paced mode, wherein you have the teacher who runs the show, and she runs it for all of them to do it at the same time. One is finished, you move on to the next question when everybody's done, and you go on. This could be online, or it could be in class when you're working as a team. So can be the self-paced mode, which is another way wherein you've got a lot of students who work at their own pace. They need their own time. So you can assign them that as a self-paced question or a quiz, and they work according to their own speed and fluency. Students can join from anywhere. There is no limitations. It's a digital platform. It has got a lot of gamification features, wherein you have a lot of game element to it. You can add audio, video, you can add images. So it is a forum for teachers and educators, for teachers to make it interesting. Again, they don't have those standard textbooks. They can explore every time. And for students to not expect the same boring notebook format that they are on to from so many years. So it's a big change for them. It includes accessibility features also. These are the features which have the language support, the image zoom, and the read aloud feature as well, which is easy for many who struggle with day-to-day learning, and if they've got any difficulties with their learning. Saving time, of course, that's the primary feature and objective of Quizizz or any other platform, that it saves time. Excuse me. It lets Quizizz handle the busy work like the title itself says. You can find and customize content here. I'm just going to mute, ma'am. So here you have instant data and feedback, as we've been discussing. You can share the quiz with students who can join with a code or with a link, like we will just start with it. And it saves time with integrations of classroom and the LMS that we have. So here, what we are going to do now is I'm going to share a little link with you. So we're going to stay for a pause. I'm going to ask and request all of you to please go on to a Chrome browser or any browser that you use, and we are going to log in together. In order to also get your feedback completed and to get your free subscription of this 1 month of Super Teacher on Quizizz platform, you will need to have an email ID, which is a valid email ID through this registration. So whatever registration email ID that you enter, that is what you would be needed to enter at the end of the session. So here we are going to go on to quizizz.com. So that's when you open, this is the first thing we do. So I'd request, if you want to go, you can go side by side with me. The teachers who've already have their account, they've been using it, can always enter the ID they have been using to have the registration already done on Quizizz. So here, once you land up on quizizz.com. So Quizizz is basically, when I started, I made a lot of mistake with 2Z and 1Z at the end. So it's like a quiz is with double Z. So here it says sign up for free. Once you click on this, if you have an account, you click on login. But if not, this is where you land up. This is the first page that you go on to, the pop-up. It says either you enter with your mobile number or a Google account. I'm sure many of you have even your professional accounts as those Google accounts. But if not, please go for whatever accounts you're using and you would want to continue with your super trainer entry. Now, again, I would interact and reinforce the fact that please use the ID that you're using for your school, because if you're using it for your school and you get a super teacher on another account, won't be much of use. So here I have my official ID. I'm going to log in through this. Once I click on it, it gives me my organization, little information. I can enter here New Delhi. That's where I am from, and I move on. It just asks me for my organization name. So your school name comes here. I'm going to put mine. Search here. Here I have it. I join my organization. That's the first step. Here it says get a month of super referral. So this is what we are going to give you today. After having filled that form, you will have a referral filled in. That's a referral form. And you would be able to get your 1 month of super membership. Once I go here, if you see, here is my name. And here is a basic account as it says. Whereas, if you look at the account I am operating from, I want to go on to my other account. Here it says Harpreeet Chaudhry, super account. So it has already been upgraded into a super account. So this is how you will be entering into the quizzes. So if you want to take a moment, please go ahead. While you're doing this, I am going to give you a little quiz. And we're going to see how it works live. So this is the link I'm going to share on our Meet. I'd like you to click on this link. And if one of you can confirm if it works. And if it asks for the code, it is on the screen 080077. So I can see people have started coming in. This is how you will also see your students coming in. Once I can see my students are there, I will start the quiz. And the moment I start the quiz, you will see, we can see the dashboard of the quiz as well. So for those who've just joined in, this is the code if it is needed. Otherwise, just the link should be good. So here, please click on the link to start with the quiz is what we are doing right now. I've got these many people already, which means they are registered onto, or they have just registered onto our Quizizz platform. Others, please go ahead. It takes about 30 seconds to log in, to register yourself onto Quizizz and start with this. The ones who've just joined in, again, I'll repeat, try to use your official email ID, the school email ID that you would want your account to be upgraded as the super teacher, which will allow you for instant access to lot of features which are for the paid version. Nonetheless, I do not say the free version doesn't work well, but when we have that opportunity to get it, I would say grab it and use it. So here we're going to wait another 10 seconds and we start the quiz. We've got 19 people here. You see 20. The count is here. You have an option to say start. You have the code. You can even choose a theme which one you want to choose. I will go by what Quizizz will provide me, and it is random. So I think we've got about 21 people here. So we are going to just give them also one more chance. And we've got 22. We're going to start. So here the quiz starts. So I'll let you play on your screens.
Good evening, ma'am. It's Tanya this side. Sorry to disturb you. It just entered. Could you just give me just points? How did you just started your session and all about the quizzes? Just one.
One sec, ma'am. One sec. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Sorry, there was too much music. Yes, ma'am.
All
Your
right.
question again, please.
I just wanted you to walk me through all the steps you have taken to start the quizzes session here right now. What you have introduced, because
Sure.
I wanted to learn and I
While
just
people are doing
just
it, I
joined.
think, yeah, I'll do that. People are still taking the quiz. So what I'm going to quickly go through this as well in a quick short form. Basically, what we paused here for a small session of entering the quizzes. So are you a current user of quizzes or you're new to it?
Well, I started using it, but I was unable to assign it whenever I made the quiz,
Okay,
but I was unable to. I didn't know how to assign it to my students. So where
got it.
that's where I got puzzled out.
So basically, there'll be a recording provided, ma'am. So do you want me to go through the theory also, or that you'll be able to manage?
Just
I can choose.
simple steps, ma'am. Simple steps.
So
Practical thing.
basically,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna then go to the practical one. So this is the first step we took here, the quizzes, wherein we just went on to logging in. So I'm sure you have your login IDs. You have
Yes,
your
ma'am.
email
Yes.
ID that you've registered on. So that was the
Yes.
first
Yes.
step. And after that, I shared a little quiz on the chat box. So I don't know if you're able to access that. And then we are going to
Yes,
take,
ma'am,
I
I'm
haven't
able to.
started yet. All right. So
All
I
right,
haven't
you
started it
haven't.
yet, but this is the first step where we wanted to take a pause, make sure everybody knew what we were talking about, what kind of people hadn't ever used
All
it,
right, ma'am.
and then we're going to move on for
All
this. So
right.
you haven't missed much. I just told in the
Thank
beginning that
you.
this session will be divided into two sessions. So one session today is kind of a beginning intermediate session where we'll take up the free features. And the next
All
session,
right.
you will, by that time, and after you fill in the feedback form from Quizizz, you will be getting a certificate from Quizizz. At the same time, you will have on the email ID that you will enter, you will get a free 1 month subscription of your super teacher account. So
All right,
that
ma'am.
once you get that, before we take on to our final version of the Quizizz super teacher, you will be able to use it, access it. So you know, when we take the advanced session, which would be very soon, you people decide, because on the feedback form it will say when would you like, you would like, or when would you like it. So maybe we can, before leaving the session, can decide maybe next weekend works for you, or another two
All
weeks
right.
work for you, and by the time you'll have your super teacher upgrade, you'll be able, we'll know what we are actually talking about than just looking at it and then waiting for it. So if you have any
All right.
questions at that time, it'll be more easy.
All right.
So
Thank
that
you
is
so much, ma'am.
what. So
Thank you,
we'll
ma'am.
have two sessions basically, and if needed, another one if you want to explore further on. Quizzes is endless.
Mm.
So I see the
Becoming a
result.
pro.
It is trying, everyone's trying their bit.
We have to
So
start using the language of the teenage now because they don't get
absolutely.
connected. Right?
Absolutely. So here what we see is there is 56% accuracy. There was no right and wrong in this quiz. So how many people, I can see here people have got their points. We can see the points. We can see the winners. It can also give us an option wherein we can say in the beginning, it said show only 5 top contestants or winners. If you want to shortlist from your class, if you want to see how many got these half correct, how many got maximum correct. So this is about people's positions that they got. So we've got here different kinds of elements that you saw on your quiz. These people we can see are still taking the quiz, running up. So it was a student paced quiz that I had generated, wherein the students did it on their own at their own pace. Some people took time to read, some people started later. However, wherein the teacher led quiz is when the teacher decides one question and then they all wait. Then goes the second question, they all wait. So we were all going together when we are in a teacher led. Here we are all going at our own pace. People, if you can see, are still going. As they complete the bar, they are up the scroll. So that is how Quizizz works. I am sure we, like students, here were the questions as it went. So I'm sure people did enjoy, assuming it is fun for kids. So you can imagine when you give it to kids how much fun they have, and to look at the leaderboard and your scoreboards. So moving on, if you still haven't logged in or signed up, please do that. How does this work basically? So again, a quick check on theory and we come back to complete practical, I promise. So here it says 30 million teacher created resources are there available, and lessons. So there is a difference between resources and lessons. So we are going to look at that. Lessons is a feature provided in an upgrade, which you'll be able to see on my screen when we share. But when we talk about the second session, we all will be on the same page, carrying that lesson feature. Then it says you've got a lot of filters to use. You can customize it to private or public use. You can use a lot of different kinds of questions wherein you've got multiple choice, check boxes. You can have questions like fill in the blanks. And you can also use a wonderful feature that Quizizz offers, which is the teleport feature. Teleport feature is when you have your already created slide decks which have questions or already created quizzes. You teleport it from one site to the other, or one quiz to the other. It's like the integration you do with Google Slides. You can pick and choose the slides you want, and what you want to omit, you can. So you don't have to redefine the whole cycle once again. So you can create it from already created by you or by any other educator. Then again, this new section that CBSE has brought up is a good news for many teachers, wherein they're trying to map up CBSE books, which is still to come. but we are just I think on the verge of release anytime. So it is the books clubbed on and mapped onto the Quizizz platform, and you'll have a resource bank readily available, a question bank for your recurrence, so and reference. So that is what Quizizz will offer you, an added feature again. Then to make your quiz, you've got all these possibilities of making it as multiple choice, check boxes, fill in the blanks. You can create polls, open-ended questions where you have those short answers as well. And a new feature that has recently again been launched is a draw feature, wherein you can provide a problem to the kids. You are asking them to give a solution by drawing, showing it to the teacher, and the teacher discussing it with the child. It's more visual appeal. As we know, learners are visual, kinesthetic, and so this feature really helps you by giving a drawing feature and making it more visual. It can include images, GIFs, audios, and videos in your quiz. Bulk import is possible when you have long quizzes to do. We already talked about the polls and different kinds of questions that we have. All this, yes. Someone has a question? All right, we'll go on. I heard someone talking. So, anyways, so here it says they are interactive to teach. We have got instructor-paced lessons. So we just saw the student-paced lesson, instructor-paced lesson. Again, I said, I will repeat myself, wherein the teacher decides the pace of the question or the session, and she decides when to proceed further. And it is visible on everybody's screen. If you've got projectors in your class, you can take it as a group activity and you present it. When it's done, you go on to the next question. So you give it time as per your own requirement or the requirement of the students. And then you've got these text and media slides that are combined. You've got import existing presentations, which is a feature you can import from PowerPoint or Google Slides. So that is again an advanced feature. And we can work live and asynchronously at the same time, working in person or remotely. Like I mentioned, hybrid or blended both work, as well as when you're in a physical classroom. So they can be both here assigned. So let's go on. We've already done the step of signing up, adding our details, and we are going to go on to now what we call it as quizzes. So here again, there are independent practices in quizzes, interactive learning that it needs to go on to, formative assessments where you can monitor student and class level progress with reports. So here, if you see on this right side, it gives you the entire report, the percentage of accuracy the child did, the scores, and you have an option of emailing the results to the parents. You can download the report itself, you can print it, you have the number of participants that took this quiz. So all that information is readily available, and you just have to do your quick analysis and your reports are ready. So here I'm going to go on now onto our most interesting part, which is our quizzes gallery. So here I am. Okay, so this I will close is my basic account. Now here, just before I close, when I click on create, I create a new quiz. I will just give it, this is just to show you the difference. So this is what, when you people are onto quizzes, and if you're not onto your super trainer account, this is what you will get. I have nouns, it goes on to English, and I've got a set of questions I can create. Now, if you see, these are audio responses and video responses, which have this flash. Flash is basically a symbol for a super teacher or a super trainer on quizzes. So this is what will not be available to most of you, just until you fill up that form. Once you fill up that form, just wait for your email to arrive, and your account automatically will be upgraded in 3 to 4 working days. So we are going to go to an account which is a super teacher account. I'm going to close here. I'm going to go on to my quiz account here. If you see, this is when I log in, I go to quizizz.com and it says super account. Now here I will have all the features available. Once we start, this is our dashboard or the first page that we see. I have the library here, which is very, very interesting and very important. This is where you start with when you are a beginner, or if you're looking. I save a lot of time. I've got multiple classes. I'm a primary school teacher. I've got many classes, and our system is a bit different than the Indian system. So we have a lot of subjects and lot of classes that we do. So I'm not a subject teacher. So I teach grade 4, grade 5. So a lot of work to do. If I end up making each and every lesson, it will take my life and I won't be able to take care of anything else. So to save time, very useful is the Quizizz library. Here is your search option if you're looking for search. This morning I was looking for icebreakers for you professionals. So I looked for it, and if you see here, the one I gave you was not what I created, but it was from one of the icebreakers. You can see here, you can check the list of ice-breaking questions that you have. It gives you a little preview on the right side. You can even play that to check how it will work. You can view the full quiz. After you check, you can say, okay, I like this. This is the quiz I'd like. For example, this one. I like this. I'm going to go here. This is the first preview I will see of the quiz. If you want to take this, let's say you say, okay, isme ye bhi question acha, ye bhi acha. I've got this. I'm happy with this quiz. I haven't gone through it though, but just for an example, here it says the name, copy and edit. Now I want to bring it to my library. I will click on copy and edit. It's creating a duplicate for me. Now, as soon as it does that, I become the owner of my quiz. I don't have to do anything else. Here is where I can change the name. It's a little pen here. I can even change the image or delete the image. I can change the name here. The moment I do this, it says Quizizz demo 28.5, and I can choose a subject. I can choose here. I can choose fun. I can give them many tags or subjects as it calls it. And here I'm good to go with my name. It's public for the moment. I can take it to private or just keep it as public. I want to keep it public. I can still select the grades I want. It can be for multiple grades since it's not a subject specific quiz. I can say it can be for grade 10th, it can be for grade 12th, and I save it. So my first name is fixed. Then it says here are my questions. I can edit this question. I can add tags to this question. I can increase or reduce the time. So I can give it 5 seconds or I can give it maximum 15 minutes to this question. It is my choice. I can always customize that. Here it's by default 30 seconds. We'll let it be. Like I said, I can edit the question. I can even duplicate this question. I like the way it is. You've got pictures. You still want an image. You keep the format. You just change the image and the question remains. When you say underline the noun or select the noun in a sentence. So in that case, you want to keep the same question and just give a change in the sentence or an image. Is this a noun? Yes or no? So you don't want to type every time, is this a noun? You want the same slide or the same question. And then you just move on to the picture change. So that is where the duplicate helps, and you've got a delete option. Once this is done, here is where on the top it says create a new question. I am done. I can preview this quiz. So this is how my quiz will look. Here is the second one. I can check on to show answers. So this is the answer. I will make sure. Many a times I choose to not show the quiz students when it is a student-paced quiz. I prefer not to show them the answer until and unless everybody in the class has finished. I've got the assignment received by all of them. I don't want them to discuss even on phone. They are very tech savvy these days. Or if they're in class, I want to finish the task first and then disclose the answers together as a class. So that's a revision for me. I know who's done it. I have the results in front of me. So that is again a suggestion if you want to go on with it. But I normally on a daily basis, I can just go on to giving them answers as they do it if it's a teacher-led test. I think somebody's raised a hand. Is there a question? Yes, Anuragji, you have a question? Okay, so we'll continue. So here is my quiz. So I go back. I am happy with my quiz. I don't want to review. I think it's good to go. I can continue with the quiz. I'll just make sure it is all good. There is nothing extra that I left. I want to still add multiple choice, I can add a poll here. You hover over it, you have the information what you want to add. Very important. Once I'm happy with my quiz, I just did the preview. Here are the settings of my quiz. I already checked those settings as well in the beginning when I did the editing. And here is the most important part. People, when they're new to quizzes, they tend to forget it. I many a times did that mistake. So I don't know, was it a silly mistake or was it just ignorance? But I made the quiz and then I said it's done. And when I looked for it, it wasn't there because I did not save it. So it had to start from scratch. So please do save. Once this is done, it goes to a secret place. So this is where it is. It goes to my library on the left. We'll come back to it. So once this is done, uh, Tanya ma'am, I think, was asking if how to assign it. So there are two options here. If you see, either I can share it. So here, these are the possibilities of sharing it. Once I'm sharing it means I need an email ID of that person. So this is more useful when you are sharing it with the class or with a teacher, a co-teacher that you want to discuss the quiz. That is important. Or if you want to put all your class kids email IDs. Otherwise, you have this link, which is public link access is enabled. You just copy the link and you share it via your Google Meet, your other platforms that you're using. You can share it through that. That's one way to do it. You can print this quiz also, and it will give you a print copy, and you can give it a physical print. So it presents itself as this. They have to choose a multiple choice question. So it can be for students who are in the class, you can give it this way. If you want to have them, if you're forcing them to do pen and paper work, which they are out of questions a lot of times, you can do that. And you can also go on to giving them other options wherein you've got physical mode when they are online, or you want to give it as homework. You don't want to waste paper. We are all saving paper as well. So that is one. Once you see on the top of print options, you've got answer key, whether you want to give them. The moment I do that, my answer key will be attached. I don't want to give them the answer key. If there are checkboxes questions here, I can turn off the checkboxes and you see all the checkboxes are gone. Now, what do you want them to do? Circle them or highlight them? I'll let the checkbox be. It's more visual. Show answer options, yes. Otherwise, I can just make it as fill in the blank or give them options to write. There are no options available. I can shuffle question for each child. That also can be possible. I can shuffle answers, which is not recommended because if you don't shuffle the question, the answers will go. It's your task again to check and verify every time. The font can be chosen as medium, small, and large. So if I take a large font, it'll go bigger. If I take extra large, it goes even bigger for students who need bigger fonts. So that is, again, I keep it to medium. Question image, if there is any in the quiz, here isn't any. So if there is any image, it goes on to medium, large, or you don't want an image at all, it goes. And then you've got the options of image again as medium, small, and large when they are there. So question image, where you have just a question and there is an image. That question, this is the size of that question. And image, this is the size just of the image, irrespective of the question size. So this is what happens when you go on to your print mode. So you've got options to change and then give it a print. Final command. Going back to our quiz, here are the possibilities. Either you can give it as a live quiz. When I click on this, you've got again the classic version, which is everybody does it at their own pace, like you all did the classic version. I click on this. It says classic. This is where I started. I check on this and I continue. And it will give me a classic code, which I will just allow someone in the meet. So here it gives me a classic code once I'm in my classic quiz. So here this says join my quiz, what I showed you. I just click on this copy and I share it again, either through the Google Meet, either through any Google Classroom or any other medium that we are discussing that they can share it on. Or if I'm doing it on class with them, whether they have the device or they are online, I can just say start. They can also go to joinmyquiz.com and enter this code. They'll still land up in this way. Here, it also gives you different options of sharing it through a link. sharing it through Google Classroom, through Teams. Now here these are locks because these are not the LMS systems I use. So if you're using a Canvas or you're using Schoology, it is possible to integrate all these quizzes through that as well. So for me, it doesn't show all this. So on the three dots, so these three dots, we were taught in Google, when you've got three dots, do explore. It means more. So this is called a snowman in the language of Google. So once you click on this snowman, you've got again the same options, a little bigger. So you've got a Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, Microsoft Teams. You've got this Remind app. I haven't used it. And Twitter if you want to share the link, or you simply copy the link. So there are so many possibilities of sharing the link. So I hope that has answered Tanya ma'am's question where it says how to start a live quiz as classic. When I say instructor paced, so here again, I've got, the moment I click on it, the teacher, it's my choice when I want the kids to go to the next question. So I go on to continue. Before that, I can have a look at these settings. So these are advanced settings. Name factory, which is the participant name. Sometimes Quizizz generates random names, not Geeta, Meera, Sheila, but some funny names. You can have the kids do that. But if you want to know which specific kid did this assessment, you don't want those funny names. You want the child himself or herself to give the name. So this is what it calls it. Name factory. I don't want it on. So I want their original names. Then we've got the timer. You can choose to have a timer to see a countdown and they get extra points for each question. That is where some people have got it right, but whoever got it within less time, the least time, gets the point and gets high on the scoreboard. So that's what it shows. Showing leaderboard, yes, you would like to see that, and you want also kids to know, oh, I am first, I'm coming third, now I've got these many points. They might not know who are they competing with. So that is up to the teacher to show them on the screen if they're all there, whether virtually or in person. Shuffling answer questions, that's your choice if you want everybody to get a different set. And music option when the quiz is playing. Sometimes you want to have the quiz with music. It just adds fun to it. Continue here or continue here. It's the same page it will take you to. It's the same quiz which I just showed you. It just gives you a different way to do it. Now here, Quizizz, again, you just click on it. It gives you the link. You have the option of entering a code. Once you click on start, you will see the participants join in. Once you click on start, that's where the first question will appear. And you can end the session anytime you want. You think the class has become too noisy, or you see they're not getting the answers. First question, second question, you can see at the same time in your screen. But you see they're not getting it, so you want to pause. There's no point doing the quiz, giving them all the questions, because you don't want to rework on the quiz again. So you say, okay, I think they need one more lesson to get further on. So I think I'll stop here. So that is what this quiz is. Gives you an option, multiple choices, immediate decision on the spot that it's working, it's not working. Let's do it another time. Let's go give it as an assignment. Aaj plan kiya tha, but we don't have time. So let's do it on another class. Or I might as well give them just plans at home. So here, the second option it gives you is asynchronous learning, as it calls it, to assign homework. That's another way to assign it through LMS. So here, if I click on it, this is what I get. Participants can complete assignment until. So they have a deadline to it. So I can choose from the calendar, they can finish it until tomorrow, or they have until next week. So I say 5th June. What is the timeline? I can choose that as well. It gives me time, date exactly. I can also choose no deadline. Maximum a game or a quiz can be active here if there is no deadline to it for 6 months. After 6 months, it automatically gets deactivated if you haven't, or if anybody hasn't accessed it for long. So that's the maximum time. Here, if you go below, it says assign. I've only assigned yet the deadline. Now it will ask me, these are advanced settings. I can even click on hide and they all go away. But I want to show you. So here it says show advanced settings, general setting. So it has participant attempts. You want them to attempt only once, or you want to have them attempt unlimited times until they get the accuracy. You can choose that. Show answers during the activity, which means after each question, not when they're doing it, but as soon as they hit the answer, it will show green, and you know whether the child has done it, or the child knows what was the correct answer. If you don't want to do that, you can turn it off. You only want them to validate, or you want to turn them off totally, so they'll not have that option. Once everything is done, you want to discuss it together with the class. Show answers after activity, so when everybody is finished, you review it together. That's also a possibility. Now this is a question bank which they were talking about, which is a high feature. It says multiple set of questions every time you prevent copying and rote learning. So this is, again, it has a little flash next to it, which means it's a paid option. Now here, since I have that paid option, I have the super account, I can click on it to show you. It says questions per attempt. So here, these are different questions you can set as per attempt. We will take it in much detail in the second session, where all these features will be with you, and then it will be better understood when we are talking about these. Then when you were doing your first quiz, you saw there were a lot of power-ups that were happening. Some bonuses happen. Sometimes you have those redemption points. So these you wanted to go on. It just creates a fun element into your regular quiz, that they know maybe they're stressed. आज plants के ऊपर quiz है, and I don't know what the teacher will ask about photosynthesis or whatnot. So that's what it says. These add just a little relief and a fun element to your quizzes. Timers can be default, which is 30 seconds, or it can be even less. You can test the timer, you can turn it off, you can reduce or change the size. You can show them the leaderboard. You can shuffle the questions or answers. The redemption question, the final one, wherein you have an option to choose which one you want to go back on. Sometimes it says double your scores. So yes, the music, yes. And these little funny memes that come in between, those are randomly chosen. You want to fix one single one, you can do that as well. I prefer to do it random, so I let Quizizz do it. Once this is done, you click on assign. I click on assign, it will ask me which LMS do I want to assign on. So I can even end this assignment right here that it doesn't work. I can edit the assignment, which is again a super feature. I can copy the link. I can ask my participants different ways repeatedly on any quiz, any step you go, you will see this. So it's not that you missed it on one point. It says June 5th, 5:59. We chose 6 p.m. So 1 minute before it will stop. That's the deadline. So I want to choose Google Classroom. I had made a dummy class in this account. So let's go to Google Classroom, how it works. The moment I click on it, it says your Google Classroom students are now synced automatically. So my classroom is named English. I go on to next, and I give the assignment a title. So let's say I give it a title, Icebreaker Demo 2. I can give an instruction, or I can leave it. It's optional. When should they start the game? I want to give them access right away. I can even choose that Monday they come in, this should be on their Google Classroom. I can even do that. So I click, let's say Monday, just to show you it's a calendar. So here you can choose the date as 30th of May. I can choose the time 7 a.m. and there it will go on to live Google Classroom. I don't want to do that right now. I want to do now, so you can see how it goes on. I can give it grades. By default, it says 100. That's the maximum it gives. I can enter manual grades. I want only 10. I can also look. It says now manual grades is again a super feature. I don't want to do it, so I go back. I can also use it. It's a super account. But I go ungraded. I don't want to grade this. Go super. Thank you. It is just showing me the pricing. I don't want to know any of that. And I'm going to go on to saving. So once I click on save, it will take me to my reports page. Here it says it has been assigned to Google Classroom. How do I check? So I go to my normal Chrome, I go to my classroom. Once I'm here, this is my classroom. So here I just had entered my new post, Icebreaker Demo 2. and this is where my instructions are. It also gives me option as mobile link or as a web link. So I can choose what do I want to assign the students as. They can choose if they are on a mobile, they can open this link. When they're on web, they can open and they can start their assignment through this. It is as simple as that. You don't even have to go to your classroom and go on to your folder. If you had created folders, which I haven't for the moment, you could just even have the students assign it into folders. It would further give you options. It was just a demo classroom that I created. I can even create it under a folder. I can edit it, send it, manage it, whichever way I want to do it. So that's how this works. So now you know how you assign it. Going back to our left panel, this was the top. So you see, we've only discussed how to access a lesson or a quiz from the given library and to share it. Took almost about 25 minutes. When you start doing it, you will see it is less than 5 minutes if you know exactly what you're doing. So once we are done on that, we've got the library, we have the code here, we've got notifications if there are any from Quizizz. On the left side, you see there's a super account. Here is create, where we start creating. Here is explore button, where you can explore, you can search for quizzes. You've got different subjects it offers. And next to the subject, you've got all different shows. You can just click on see more and you've got more options onto it. It also has for math teachers possibility to enter equations. So that is again one added feature if you see. So you've got all these math worksheets. You want to edit, you want to give. Look, geometry is all here, lines and angles. You've got preset lessons, chapters. Like I said, CBSE is integrating slowly and gradually. So have a look at the library. You will see multiple resources as they are claiming they have it and which teachers have created. When you see the name of the teacher, it already says the name, what teacher has created when. So you can see the content, how refreshing it is, or how later it was done, or how early, how many days back, months back. That all can be done. Under that, you've got my library on the left panel itself. This is all the quizzes that you have created. It says under super, as a super account. Is it in draft, still not published? It gives you that option. If it is published and shared, it gives you that information. So all this is here on your Google My Library. If you want to see reports of how your quizzes were done, so here is what we did 30 minutes ago or 38 minutes ago. We have the result. This is the dashboard of the result, what happened in our quiz. So here it says 54% were accurate. This Priya Berard was the first one who did it with 90% accuracy. This was her score, very closely followed by Mehak and Santanu Patra. So here you can see the scores are here. You can refer to the scores by accuracy, by first name, by last name. You can always customize according to your needs. You can email all the parents at once, or you can email just specific to this parent. This child has not done well. I'm going to report to Shilpa Venkatesh's mummy. He's not or she's not done the test well. So I am going to report it today, and the mummy can see for herself, is what I can always do. I can print or delete the scores as well. This is my live dashboard when the quiz was actually happening, is not happening right now. So here, this is what it showed as my live dashboard when it was happening. We all had screens on during that time, and I had shared it. It tells me exactly how many participants attempted the test. So you know the attendance is taken here. You've got option of, got still people coming in. You've got option of emailing, I already said. So I think on this part, you've got option of printing, deleting, tagging. You've got questions if you want to see who did how many questions. So for each question, I have 24 participants, 77% got it correct. 3% got one wrong. They chose cat. Who chose which answer? So you know it's your review as well as to what area do I need to work on with my students. So there's still Amitabh Bachchan, was wrong. There was no Abhishek Bachchan. So people did get that wrong. Some people did say Akshay Kumar or Jackie Shroff on that question. So that again got it wrong. So you can check that also. So it gives you a whole report card. You print it, you put it on your regular reports that you have. कुछ भी नहीं करना, just उसमें से देखना है, mark करना है. No reporting, and it's there online anytime you can access. You just need your email ID and you can access it from any device in the world. You don't have to carry your notebooks along. इस बच्चे का क्या review था, क्या test था. Then you can link up your classes on it. So you can create classes. I've already had my Google Classroom, so one class is already created. If you're teaching 10 different classes in different levels, you can even add those through the Google Classroom or through other learning platforms that you are using for your school. Then you've got the settings. I've got these. I've got my email ID, the username by default. I didn't like it, so I changed it similar to what my account was. And the language, the password, if you want to change it, and you can change. This is your settings area. And you've got more possibilities of collections, memes. I don't have any collections for the moment. The meme sets that you can choose from, or if you like them, you can always arrange for it. So those are some of the extra features. The more you explore, the better you get into it. And the profile. So here, these are all my quizzes, my way. Now, one last thing we're going to quickly give a check on is next 5 more minutes and we'll be done. It says creating. But do not leave now since I can't access the screen. I will give you both feedback forms. So go ahead and fill in before you leave today. So here, a new quiz I showed you. So you just click on the new quiz. We did it together. You click on, this is from the scratch. The one we did was from the library. I can again take up I'm an English teacher basically. So I can just think of English topics. I have English. I say next as adjective was my topic, and it creates a blank quiz from me. There are no questions here already. It just gives adjective. I didn't add grade, so maybe I can add here grade third, and I want to make it public. I save. Now here, my first question I want to create can be a multiple choice question. I click on it. Here, it's exactly an interface of Kahoot. If you've ever used it, I had mentioned in the beginning also. So name the adjective in the given sentence. So this is my first question. So here, so I say the red car was in the garage. Let's say that. I will type my answer. Car, garage, red, and the. I can add more options if you want, and I can choose my correct answer. Now it prompts me. So even if I forgot, it will say which one. So I choose red. This should be my answer. It is already in green. I save it. So my first question is done. The next one I can add as fill in the blank. I can add as an image. Now these flash ones we will discuss in the second option, wherein it will ask me for audio or video. I can record myself, I can record the students. So when you get your access to it, please try creating a quiz where you, instead of saying name the adjective, you can always ask them for a recorded question. What is the answer? Okay. Fill in the blank with uh, with an adjective. So here I have my sentence again. The something car was in the garage. And I have my options. It's a fill in the blank. I can ask the kids to write. I don't want an answer exactly contains whatever. I don't want. Okay. Let's say I say is exactly. My correct answer is red. Now, if the child has written R in capital, it might be wrong because I'm choosing it as exactly. I can say it contains red. I am fine with it. This is based on some chapters, so I am good with it. I know in the chapter the car was red, so I expect the answer as red. Here it says students can upload images also of their answers. That is also possible. So here is the answer that's shown to me. It won't be shown to the students. Then I can also ask open-ended questions. So what was the main character's name in the story? So that's again another question. They will type their answers here. These are open-ended for your review. I can click on save. And it says show your work. If I want them to show their, for example, it's a math question. Here is a possibility where you just slide it through and it says show your work. So they have done the calculation on paper. They can just show it by clicking and giving you a camera option or a screen. It says try again because it's not a math generated question. So here, I'm going to let it be. So that is what it is. Once this is done, let's say I've got my questions here. I just preview my quiz. Yes, it shows the answer. Yes. I go to the next one. It says fill in the blank, show answer. It should be red. Yes. And I say what was the main character's name in the story. And there are no answers. I want them to do it and I'll review it on my own. I am good with the question. I hit save. The moment I save, it says what is your title image, adjectives. I want to find a red car. Maybe I want to give it a name. I don't have a car, so I have this car shaped something. I'm going to just put it here. And this is my car and I save. So my quiz will have a picture and it will have adjective. It will say who created it, what time, what grade, what subject. Now anybody, since it's a public quiz, anybody can access it. There are questions to it. I can assign it as homework. I can go as live quiz. I can go classic. I just continue here, and this is where the students will be able to access this quiz right here on the podium. So I can just say copy. If you want to see, I can go through an incognito because that's not a LinkedIn account. So I go to my no login account. I hit dashboard. And here is how a quiz will appear on your screens as well. I enter. So I did not choose a free name. So I enter my name as Harpreeet. I say start. Everything is enabled. And these are my power-ups. I'm the first one to join. The host will start the quiz. Whereas on my screen, let me go back to my screen. Here it says start. This is where I'll have to run through because it's a present quiz. I can see only Harpreet has, and I can even remove, since I'm the owner, I can remove the participant or I can start the quiz. So here, and there. So the quiz has started. It will give me random options. So I can do show. It can give me some power savers, double jeopardy. It can give me a streak saver. I can do that. So let's say I know the answer. I'm a good student. And there it is. So these are the memes that we were talking about. Second one, main character was Bonnet. I submit. Quizizz does not know the answer. So we go on to the next one and it says red. And it says power up. Yes, I want to power up and double my scores. And there it is. So here, I've completed my quiz. And here are the lead. If there were more people, it would have shown more things. So it says the winner. It gives me the live dashboard. So that is the basics of how you could create. It gives me correct answers. It gives me, since it's just a one participant quiz, it gives me the responses. It's pretty short, the time I took. The streaks I took. Streak is how in one go you can complete the quiz without any mistakes. That's the streak it calls. So I think that was pretty much from me on quizzes. Now is the time to get your prasad, I would say, as we call it, after waiting for so long. So here there are two. Before I stop presenting, I'm going to just give you a link of first the quizzes form. I'll let you have the free version of the quizzes. So here is the link of the form. Please go ahead and type. This is a different form. It's a new format. It's not on Google Forms. So if you look at it, I'm going to show you here on the screen as well. So the form will open and look something like this. It's a type of form. It says, welcome to Super Training Program. Once you click on it, hit enter. Start. This is where you will type your name. Please do type in your correct name you want. On the certificate, you will get as a participation certificate from Quizizz. And you are going to get up for your registrations. So again, these are some of the information I'm posting, which you can just copy paste because of the spelling mistakes. I've got a lot of times my name as 2 E's and 3 E's. So I would request if you can copy in, because that's what will be asked. So once you click on your name, for example, here I say Harpreet. So you will type in your name, please. I have this. I click on OK. It takes me to the next option. Here it says your Quizizz email. Please enter the correct email ID which you have registered for Quizizz, so that your activation will happen on that account. If you've activated some other account and you want to change it, it will not work. Then I would say, while you're waiting, please fill in your Quizizz account, enter and log in into a new account, and then give that email. Otherwise, it will be no use. They won't be able to validate the account and give you the super trainer membership. So here is Quizizz email. So for me, I will say it is already done. I click OK. Then it says there are only 7 questions. Please enter your phone numbers, the mobile number that you have access to. Even if you've not used for Quizizz, it will give you that access. So you can access Quizizz through the mobile phone or your email ID. The trainer name. Now this is important. I've already pasted it onto your Meet chat box. Have a look at it. So it is the spellings which is needed. So it's Harpreet with 3 E's, a bit unusual. K, Chaudhry with no A. Again, that's a bit unusual. Once you're done with that, here is the email ID that I've shared already with you, which is my Quizizz account email ID. Harpreet with 2 E's here. CHAUDHRY @LFI Delhi. This is the name of my organization I work with. So that's my official. I want that activation. So again, that is what I would want. This is what you would want for your accounts. So please enter my email ID. This is what we need for my certificate as well. It's already there on your chat box. The date, we will put today's date of training, which is 28th. Oh, sorry, it's 05. It's the month first, 28th, 2022. I think somebody has a question. Yes, ma'am. Nobody has a question. So here, 05/28/2022. Again, the date of certificate is also today's date, because today is when you will start. We don't want to waste even one day. So we have again today's date, 05 28, 2022, and you hit submit. Here, I am sharing the link again.
Ma'am, I have done it.
Annette, ma'am. So, can I request you one more form to be filled? This is the form when you want the training and for your certificate for All India Educators Forum. So, that's the second link I've shared. Please do enter. Make sure you have both. That doesn't need my email ID and the correct spellings. It's for Matthew sir to check and give you the certificates. So certificates are on your way. The moment you click on it, you finish submit. Please make sure you would be interested in the second advanced uh, forum. We'll go for it as soon as you want. Even you can also mention your options or the date, weekend, weekday, time slots. I am okay with anything. So you can mention that in the chat as well. If you're done with the first form, this is the second link. So you've got basically 2 forms to fill in. I shall be grateful if that is done.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, actually, I'm a student. So I just wanted to ask that I was interested in today's workshop, so I attended it.
Yeah.
So I also have
Sure.
to fill in the form, like the one you're talking about.
If you want to have the special features, why not? We can give it a try.
Okay,
You can
ma'am.
go for it.
Okay, ma'am. So there's
Those,
yeah.
there are extra features which are on the paid version. These are for 1 month. You can always explore that for yourself as well.
Okay, ma'am. So now I have signed in Quizizz with my school ID. So that ID only I have to put in this form, like fill in this
Yes, yes, please. The one you will use to create,
Okay,
that is
ma'am.
what you will
Thank
fill.
I'm just
Sure.
Ma'am, done with the second form as well.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Excuse me,
So I am
ma'am.
just before. Yes,
Can
yes,
can
ma'am.
we put today's date at 22?
No, today's date. So it is 05/28, 2022. So that's the format we'll go for both, for certificate also and for the workshop also. It's the same date because we want your certificates to come today and the membership to start getting validation starting today. So if it is from 22nd, it will be hard to connect what training, because there isn't any training I did on 22nd. So it will be hard to connect for them. So they'll validate the date, the workshop name, and then they'll start process. So here we still have someone joining in. So just to check if we've not missed anything, here is a master class that is also available when you go to quizizz.com. Just for your information, if you've already filled in the form and we are waiting for others. So here it's a Quizizz masterclass. When you go on to Quizizz platform, this masterclass also allows you to access. So it says welcome to Quizizz masterclass. I can share this link as well with you on the Meet. And you can always check that, save it as your bookmark. And whenever you've got time, this is something very interesting for you to know more features and get yourself, as this is a free lesson, a little classroom for yourself at your own pace. So if you say it says get started with Quizizz, the short videos that you can go through. There are specific questions. If you're looking at some like live quiz, posting them, how to do that, how to teach with lessons. This is what we'll do in the second part of our training, session 2. So this is what you can always go on to, teaching with lessons. If you're more curious, you can go on. If you need resources, these are some teacher created resources, Quizizz resources again. So they are very, very interesting. So if you want to go for it, please do give it a try, as well as with the masterclass. And we've got, I think, pretty much everything we've covered with the feedback. And if you still have any questions, I'm here. There is this quiz which is very interesting. So if you want to just open it and do it maybe later, it is a fun quiz. It is created by the Quizizz team. So here again, something which is already there, I will just start it as live quiz, which is not my pace. It's a classic quiz. You can do it at any time. So here I'm going to give you that link as well. So there you go. If you want to go on to this, open it, you can give it a try as well. This is real fun. I did it before yesterday, I think day before yesterday. It was really interesting. So if you want to go through it, it is wonderful. And I think I'm done with this. So if you have any questions, I'm right here. Please do ask. I'm going to stop the recording. This recording will be available by today evening, before midnight for sure. As soon as it is processed by Google, I'm going to put it on the YouTube, and the recording will be available